What's good, everybody? It's time for another Fair Shake review, and today we're going to be talking about the new Jack Harlow album, Come Home, The Kids Miss You. And here we got Jack Harlow coming back with his second full length, yeah, it starts off with Talking to Town, excuse me, which is a quick little intro, kind of letting know how his success has made him a target in the city. I enjoyed this intro, and I was like, all right, let's get into it. We get into Young Harlezy, and the first verse had some pretty nice lines. Then there is a surprise Snoop sighting as we get into the beat switch after. And, you know, the second verse is mid, really. And then it hops into that chorus. I hated that chorus. And then the third verse was nice. It was nice. Better than the second. So it was kind of like a little sandwich. But everything in the meat in between was just kind of, didn't really like it. It's undercooked. Then we get into I'd Do Anything to Make You Smile, which to me was some pretty generic stuff. And then we hit the beat switch, and the bars started being a little bit more hit or miss, instead of just kind of bland. Then we get into First Class. This single it makes sense that this was a single, and here I just really feel he's like on his Drake tip, but kind of like the bad Drake tip that I kind of find annoying. But the beat is easy to rock to, which does make it easy to jam to. That Fergie sample is like perfectly done. Well, actually, I probably would have done a little bit more with the spelling. I would have done something with the O-R-O-U-S, but you know, that's just me. But you know, it makes for a perfect single. Then we get into Dua Lipa, where he just kind of awkwardly shoots his shot at Dua Lipa, and apparently he has shared it with her to see if it's okay to release, and she's like, I mean, it's your song, so you can drop it. But to me, I wouldn't have released it. It just seems awkward. It's just really weirdly written, and it definitely, I didn't like it. Then we get into Side Piece, and the first half, like, of this, I also just did not like one bit. But then it has this beat switch, and like, despite like the donut line that he had in there to start off that last verse, the rest of it I really liked. I was like, yo, if this whole first half wasn't so terrible, I'd probably play this song. Then we get into Movie Star with Pharrell, and in this track, Harlow really does show how conceited he really is. And that last verse with the beat change and the back and forth with Pharrell was a really interesting choice, because they're just kind of going on about fake butts, aka two muscular butts from, you know, squat lifts. Yeah, everything about this track just made me go, what even is this track? Who's supposed to enjoy this? At least that's how I felt. The beat's cool and everything, but everything they're talking about was just like, what? And then we get into a Little Secret. And this one here is another smooth joint, that really kind of shows how much of an F-boy that Jack can be. And like, like in this song, he like realizes the chick is actually like pretty cool, and that they could be like a great couple and everything, but yet he still won't commit. And even though he's definitely being like the worst kind of person, this is one that I actually kind of enjoy. I actually enjoy the way this one sounds, which is kind of ironic. Then we got we go to I Got a Shot, and he's just kind of talking a little bit more about how he came up with a little bit more of a melodic flow than some of the other ones. He dabbles in the melodic flow in some of the songs before, but this one he really kind of dives into it a little bit more. And he also does a little bit later on in the track listing. But first we got to get to Churchill Downs with Drake. And this one, I was like, finally, some bars. And Jack came in about how he was doubted but yet succeeded. And then Drake comes through talking about how he's currently treated in this industry as a great, because, you know, there's this... a lot of people have rubbed him the wrong way, and we know there's been beef. It definitely seems like there's some shots at Ye, there's some shots at Push, and yeah, so that continues on that lovely journey. But I still enjoy it because the bars on this one are slick, some real slick bars. Then we get into Like a Blade of Grass, where Harlow is given, you know, doing some more slick talk to a girl, and I actually like it this time. Like this time I'm like, all right, you kind of killing this one right now, because this time he's actually trying to really appeal to the girl and what he can do for her, and not just a annoyingly greasy way. Then we get to Parent Trap with Justin Timberlake, which was also a surprise of a feature. But yeah, here he's just kind of ruminating more on how fame changes things around him. Yeah, JT came through with a solid chorus, and Jack came through with some solid bars. So I got to give a thumbs up to that. We add that to the playlist. Then we go into Poison, where they're just him and Wayne are just kind of like bigging up this girl that they like, and it's just like, yo, you're poison, but the good kind. Yeah, like I like that. Like you're amazing. You affect my brain. You're all I think about. You know how to take care of yourself and all that stuff. Unfortunately, usually that kind of stuff can be on my good side. This time it just didn't sound as interesting to me, including Wayne's verse. He didn't quite interest me with the way he went about it, which is unfortunate. But when we get into Nail Tech, the other single from this project, and it's definitely has all the braggadocio you can expect from a single in the generic hip-hop space. So it's aight. Then we end off with State Fair, which is a little bit more introspective, where he's kind of talking about continues to talk about his rising status in the hip-hop game, which, you know, the track itself is not too bad, but unfortunately I don't feel like it's worth a lot of repeat listens, because, you know, you're just getting his thoughts right then and there, and you get a couple of clever bars, but it's nothing that makes me want to go put that mug on repeat. So yeah, I actually was kind of looking forward to seeing how this was going to be, just to see how he was going to evolve after the last project. But yeah, with this sophomore effort, it definitely seems that he's kind of set to just go the generic rap path to me, and it seems extremely influenced by Drake, and like the kind of Drake that I don't like, where he kind of wastes his technical ability, but still has like a good ear for beats and a decent eye, like a decent talent for concepts for songs, but just delivered in ways that I just can't really get behind. But I definitely can see that this style is translates to easy streams, especially since you could just kind of put it on in the background at the party and let it rock out and you'll be fine. But being that I'm mostly a active listener, is not for me. It's not for me at all. But yeah, that's just how I feel. But what do you feel? Your thoughts are way more important than mine. So please leave your thoughts on this project down below. I'd love to hear what other people are thinking. I do know what some other critics think, as I follow them, on YouTube as well. Yeah. But being that you might be watching this here on YouTube, if you enjoyed watching this, you can hit the like button, or you can hit the dislike button if you disagree with me. The choice is yours. You can also subscribe for more reactions and reviews here on the channel. I also have a Patreon that is linked in the description box, or you can go to patreon.com/splitmaster5 to support your boy, to be able to continue to do this content. You can also support the leader of the blog by going to Muddy Colt Miko on Patreon to support her as well. And yeah, that is gonna be all for now. Until next time, though, much love, peace.